What I also wanted to talk about was the packaging, too, on these things. Because not only is there the artists who sculpt and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but there's the 2D department in Sideshow, and they're the guys that create the catalogs, and they're the guys that create the art for the packaging, and so I'm really glad that they gave me this one, because I wanted to actually unpack one of these for you right in front of your eyes, so you can see what it entails. I mean, again, right off the bat, we have the styrofoam, and it's been designed so you can grab it. Because how many times have we all been faced with trying to, you know? Now, this packaging. Yes, I know. All of this packaging was engineered at the factory. Now, when they come up with this, there's actually, I saw this too, because I went out on a tour of the factories. They took me over there on a tour. And I saw the guy actually designing these things.
Where's the factory? Where are the factories?
Overseas. Made in overseas. But I actually saw the guy with each one of these figures, how they lay out, and if there are other different parts, like the separate heads or the base, they'll actually rough out a piece of styrofoam with all of this. There's a guy, I saw this firsthand, actually roughing out all of this stuff and making sure that it will all fit in there just as so the packaging engineering is even something. Not only that, but after this all done and they got a figure in here and the top goes on it, then they drop it from 2 feet to test. And then they drop it from 6 feet, and then they'll drop it from 10 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, durability. They really, really are quite good at what they do. Okay, so don't eat this. Can I ask you to?
Lovely assistant.
My lovely assistant, David. Yeah. Hey, can you
It's quite a
stick that guy in there? Now this figure is a Sideshow original. This is a figure that has been designed by Tom Gilliland.
Looks like his work.
Yeah. And this is a.
It's not a movie or anything.
No, we've started doing our own figures because we have a lot more creativity with them.
You don't have to worry about licensing.
And we don't have to worry about licensing. Which one is that? And they come with magnetized. They're magnetized, so you can just. So they're not going to fall out. So this is one that I did the clothes for. I made the clothes for them again on Tom's suggestions. What he wanted. Where's the other hand? Oh, look at this. And this, gee, I don't know who sculpted this piece.
Kind of a Jack the Ripper.
That's exactly what this is.
Not a color.
kind of a Cthulhu.
Jack the Ripper. That's exactly what this is. Yeah, and
And you win the prize.
And you win the prize.
I'll take it.
So this.
Kind of a Cthulhu-ish H.P. Lovecraftish version.
Yeah.
That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah, so again, not only is it sculpting and painting, but it's also engineering, again, the packages, how it can be customer friendly to take these things out of the boxes, and so pieces aren't broken, and they're easily assembled, because you can't actually, if this was just a sculpted piece, that would be really difficult to package and ship, certainly, because stuff like this could just snap right off. So by necessity, it must come disassembled, but make it customer friendly enough so it just goes together just like that.
Are all your parts magnetized and have to be attached?
Hmm?
Are all your parts magnetized that have to be attached?
Yeah, no.
How much would a piece like that cost?
Gee, I'm not sure. I would say in the range of maybe $250, I think.
It's not bad.
Are these all limited edition? I mean, are they?
Yeah, all of them are limited edition. The two Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing that we're doing just for Guillermo, those are just one-offs. But limited edition, I mean severely limited. To each one of these pieces only has a run of maybe 800 worldwide.
When you're making the clothes, do you have to take special consideration on how scale matches with the texture of the fabric, the thread count, how it drapes? Because I know that because you're using such large scale, it doesn't. It's a little bit easier to represent, have something with the folds and the things like in a more realistic manner. But I'm sure that sometimes you can't use just a swap of the actual, same type of that was used for the original, because it may be too coarse when going into 1/6 scale.
No, this is exactly the case. Yeah, these I try to use a variety of fabrics just for textural, but again, those have to be scaled down. Most 1/6 things, your 12-inch tall figures, the clothing is always cotton, like shirtweight cotton. And for me, when I see other companies use specific just cotton, I understand why, but for me as an artist, it gets a bit boring to look at, and so I still try to use wool. This is the coat itself is tropical weight wool, which is very, very thin. There are a number of different types of wool, like you got your overcoat wool, or the kind of wool used in army uniforms. And then there's very, very lightweight, what they call tropical weight, which men's suits are made out of. Some men's summer weight suits are made of, and so that's what I choose for this stuff. On some occasions, I'll try to use linen. Like the pants are actually, I really wanted them to be linen, which has a different texture itself. But again, you got to use lightweight stuff. The leathers are generally pleathers. Just because for production, pleather comes in yardage, and you know how many pieces you're going to get out of a yard of that stuff.
Right.
Real leather has all of the, irregular, and it's difficult for that thing. Also, I just realized when I did this, I had wired this. So it can also look like it's blowing.
Wow.
So it can have a little bit more animation on a static figure like that. Right? You're so cute.
Because that's the one thing when I see some of these figures and stuff like that, is that you know, even though the sculpting may be perfect, it's sometimes the uniforms or the things like that are just too dollish.
Yeah, dollish, right. That, I believe, has to do with, right, the scale, the weight of the fabric, and also that it just doesn't fit. Yeah, they don't. They just don't fit the figure. But the thing with the thing with the 6 scale, again, with the 12 inches, again, I can see where they're coming from because they're intended to be dressed and undressed. And for a lot of guys that may not be really adept at dressing something like that, they kind of make them purposely large to get them on past the feet, you know, get them on past the hands. You know, if you got hands like that, you got to have a sleeve at least this big to get it on past it, and that means that the sleeve is going to be this big when. You know, this stuff, we intentionally did it. We were the first in the business to do quarter scale clothed statues. And at the time, some people thought it wasn't going to fly because you couldn't dress them and undress them. But the idea is that when they're not intended to be dressed or undressed, you can fit the clothes really tightly, and that's what makes these things look like statues rather than dolls. Yeah, because they're not intended to be dressed or undressed.